So a little recap from, I guess it was 2 days ago at this point, which if you're watching this, that means you made it through all the exciting stuff, which was all the dyno pulls without really much commentary on that. But the other day we had our first test and tune session of trying to get the truck dialed in. All in all, went pretty well. It still runs and drives, so that's a big first step. It was 294 days since we left the bottom end in Ohio at Firepunk. But other than that, it ran well. The first pull of the day made 536. And then from there, kind of, unfortunately, it didn't go downhill. But that was the top number of the day, kind of cold motor, everything else. From there, we made anywhere between 480 and that 530 mark. And all day, it was super consistent with power. And boost and drive pressure was super consistent. But we couldn't manipulate it at any time. We were always running 100 pounds of drive pressure. And it was always 60 pounds of boost no matter what we did. Went through, kind of did some changes, did what we could. On like the first or second dyno pull, we found that we were dropping fuel pressure. We were dropping fuel pressure from 12 to 13 on idle down to below 4 in the 3.5 range under a full load. So we had a AirDog 165 on it originally. We were able to source a fast 250. So we put a fast 250 on it. That got our fuel pressure up to 16, 18 PSI. The pump builder said run it around 20. So we're right close to that range. And then full load under a dyno run, it was dropping pressure down to, I think, 10, 11 PSI, somewhere around that range. While we were waiting for the new pump to come in, we did decide to just do a quick boost check, boost leak check, everything. Make sure we didn't have any boost leaks. We did find that there was 2 spots in the intercooler that had a leak. So this is a spare intercooler they had kicking around that we ratchet strapped in place, because obviously all the work I did last year putting a second gen intercooler into this didn't work, and this one has a massive bow in it, so that also hurt as well. After that, we struggled with popping boots because of the way the intercooler was set up. We couldn't run any of the boost straps or anything like that, so that's what this janky ratchet strap setup is like. And then after that, we made a bunch of pulls, tried to manipulate stuff. We thought about a bunch of stuff and just kind of went back and forth. But the tranny stayed nice and cool. Motor stayed nice and cool. There's no issues on top of that. It was just we couldn't manipulate boost and we couldn't manipulate drive pressure. And the ratios are way out of whack. So what we ultimately end up thinking was the culprit is we have this wastegate here that we got, was essentially kind of given to us just for testing purposes, but the spring in it is super stiff. But I pulled this apart last night and we found that the valve is actually really gummy in this. So I did get the valve to free up, but that's kind of after the fact. So we got the spring in, we got that. We did end up just ordering a new wastegate, so that get rid of that variable, comes with springs, so we can adjust it, do whatever, and then we'll be able to adjust spring pressure and then adjust dome pressure or base pressure if we need to, depending what the situation is. So that's really an update from over the weekend with the first dyno testing session. We got a lot of work to do within the next week, cramming before the dyno competition, which was 1 week after our test session. So that's where we're at now, of just doing some kind of fit and finish type stuff and knocking stuff off the new list that we made of stuff that we want to get done before Saturday when the competition is, just to kind of see, you know, where we're at. We know where we're at now. We just need to get some things changed and see what we can do better. So that's really it. The only other issue that we ran into was that if we started making good power, it did spin a lot on the dyno. Just currently still has the open diff, so that diff is going to get welded this week, so we don't have to worry about that over the weekend. But as far as all the other changes, that will be in the next video after this one that you'll have to watch and keep an eye out for, and see what we do to get this ready for the dyno competition.